All right, welcome back, Wakies. You're on the Live the Dream Media Network. I am the DeSimone guy with that show called Wake Up with me, DeSimone, and always appreciate our great discussions and all the help we get from our friends at RJP Estate Planning. We have our good friend Stephen Levine on the phone. Geez, in the old days, on the podcast. Good morning, Stephen. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Chris. Been a long time.
It's good to see your beautiful face. We've never got to see each other's face in all these years, and now here we are together. So, hopefully, I'm a little less ugly than you thought. So,
It's debatable.
thank you.
My screen resolution's not the greatest,
You mean
but I can.
like those glamour shots the ladies used to take at the mall, where they really soften up the lens? That even that's not going to help me, is what you're saying?
Not so you need like a blowout. I think a perm would look good on you.
I want to be upfront with everyone. I am going through the process right now of getting my trust with RJP Estate Planning, and it's been great. The first appointments with this marvelous man named David, and he was just great explaining, answering questions. So, Stephen, as a guy who's been talking about this with you for all these years, going through the process is easier than you've been telling me, believe it or not. And I'm not even fluffing it. It's real. It's been a great experience.
Yep. And I'm the last. I'm the last in line. So I'm not the attorney that puts the trust together. I'm not David. I'm the one that kind of holds your hand, meets with you, meets with the family, helps talk about how to fund the trust. That's the most important part of a trust process. The trust is a set of rules, right? It's a legal document that says these are the people I'm putting in charge when I pass away to be the trustee, the executor of my estate. These are the people that are in place that are going to be the beneficiaries. But those rules only apply to whatever assets you actually fund into the trust, like your house, your bank, your investments. So that's kind of where I come in to help make sure that everything's tied up and the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That way, there's nothing that's going to go through a probate that's not part of your trust already.
No,
So that's
been beautiful to work with you guys. So thank you so
good.
far. I hope you're not going to ruin it. I don't think, being my last appointment, but
I don't know. We'll see.
so
Yeah.
if you've been putting off your estate plan, this year could be your last chance to get it done under today's favorable laws. And Stephen's here to explain why now is such a critical time. So, Stephen, some people are watching in the headlines thinking, all right, if President Trump's tax bill passes and the estate tax exemption stays high, do I really need to do anything?
That's a fair question. Yeah. So the answer is yes, you do. I wouldn't worry about the taxes. That should be the least of your worries. The estate tax threshold is so high right now. And we were talking like federally, it's like over $13 million. It doesn't apply to most people. So I wouldn't be worrying about the estate getting taxed. You want to worry about probate. Probate's something you want to avoid at all costs for your family. To avoid probate, you need a living trust. So taxes aside, whatever the bill is passed, the new bill's passed, stays the same. Don't worry about that. Worry about probate and avoiding probate. Yep.
So continue on. I'm sorry if I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So basically, to follow up with that is when we talk about probate, every state's different. So Arizona, in particular, is a state that has extremely low thresholds for probate. Meaning, if you own a house in Tucson or in Arizona, that probably is going to trigger a probate. Because I mean, if your assets are over about 100 grand, 120 grand, most homes are worth more than 100 grand. So owning a house could trigger probate. Having personal assets of over 75 grand, that also could trigger probate, meaning investments, bank accounts, personal property. Most people find themselves in that category where they're going to be over that probate threshold. So you don't need to be in this uber wealthy class of people thinking, okay, only the people that have that uber wealth, those are the people that need to have trust. No, it's the everyday average person that has a house or has assets more than $75,000 that are going to be finding themselves or their estate in probate if they don't have the proper tools in place like a trust.
We just had a recent conversation with our friend Dr. DeFilippo, and the average home value in Pima County is about $360,000. So it's a little bit over the 75,000 threshold you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So
So if you're not paying estate taxes, your family can still end up in court. Is that what
oh
you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah. It's probate can drag months, years if people are probate's public, so they're going to take a public record inventory of your assets. That means it's basically fair game for creditors, uh, outside family members to basically all come and say, okay, I'm entitled this, I'm I'm entitled that. They owe me money. So probate's basically before a judge would rule and say, hey, this is where the assets are distributed. Does anybody want to argue, contest it? Um, Even to get in front of a judge, it could take weeks, months. There's a huge line right now, especially ever since COVID, of people waiting to get in front of the judge for probate. So just having a will, most people think a will's enough. It's not. A will's better than nothing. A will is what the judge is going to review and say, who are you willing your assets to, and hopefully they side with that. Um, a living trust, on the other hand, that completely avoids probate if your assets are funded into your trust. So that avoids the public record of inventory. It avoids people fighting, family members coming from out of the woodwork. It keeps it private. So yeah, so number one, avoid probate. Number two, if you get into probate, having a will is better than nothing, but you just want to avoid it ultimately at all costs.
All right. So if the Trump tax bill passes, it doesn't protect you in probate court. So it's good
No.
to know that with a living trust, your estate can bypass probate and go straight to your family. Now let's talk about if it doesn't pass. There's talk that there may, trust me, we talk about it all the time with all our Congress people. Passing the great big beautiful bill is not going to be as easy as they thought. So let's say if somehow it doesn't pass, how does that change things?
So if it doesn't pass, say the threshold goes from 13 million to 7 million, so it's going to affect more people. I mean, you're talking maybe up to 40% of estate tax that's going to come out of the pocket of the beneficiaries. To me, I think the biggest thing that's going to affect most people, whether you have 13 million, 7 million, whether you fall in that category or not, where the estate tax is going to affect you, what's going to happen is anytime there's a major change like that, you see kind of a run. So you see a lot of people saying, hey, this is going to affect, we need, now people are going to get triggered and say, we need to start thinking about doing a trust, having this plan in place. And what's going to happen is it's going to take the process longer. Like right now, you're going through the process of getting a trust.
Yeah.
I mean, we make it easy where it's, okay, you show up at this time, this time we have everything preset for you. We just need to ask you some questions. We put everything together, but it's still a process. You have to meet with the attorney, then you have to meet, with me, and we have to talk about funding. And that process right now, from the date of inception, the date of that first appointment, until you actually get your physical book handed to you and we sign it, or you sign it with the notary, that's still 4 to 6 week process. So when we start seeing any changes with laws that have to do with the states, or we start seeing a big influx of people kind of freaking out and saying we need to get our ducks in a row now, and that just delays the process.
So matter
So it could go from
matter what Congress does, waiting is putting you, your assets, and your family at risk. Is that
yeah.
right?
I mean, we all know we're eventually going to die. We know we don't want to have to go have our kids or family go through probate. So you need to get a trust done at some point, obviously before you pass away. Um, the problem is that nobody knows when they're going to die or when they're going to become incapacitated. So you want to have the documents in place now, because once you become incapacitated or you pass away, it's too late. If they're not in place, now your family's left trying to scramble and pick up the pieces. So get it done now before it gets really busy. We're already busy, but before it gets to the point where we're waiting 2 or 3 months, you're traveling, you're going out of town, things could happen, medical issues. So the point is to get it done now. It's inevitable. You're going to need it, so you might as well get it done now before rolling the dice, playing roulette.
All right. Don't wait for what Congress decides. Whether your estate tax stays high or gets cut, your estate still needs protection. So you're going to call 520-386 5959 by May 16th to lock in a 65% savings with RJP's Living Trust Package. That is 520-386-5959. Schedule your free consultation with Stephen, David, and the team at RJP Estate Planning today. And don't wait. This is what you should be. These guys are doing right by me and Mrs. D right now. The process has been amazing. So remember, 520-386-5959. And remember, May 16th to lock in a 65% savings on RJP's Living Trust Package. All right, buddy.
That's right.
I'm so glad
And
we
then-
got. I'm glad.
One last thing,
Yes, sir.
just so people know, just to kind of paint the picture, what you're getting is you're not just getting a trust, you're getting a package, right? So the package includes, obviously, when you pass away, the trust is to protect from probate, but also what it includes is if you become incapacitated, who are you going to assign the person that makes medical decisions for you and financial decisions? Somebody still has to pay your taxes, your bills. You don't want the court to appoint some random person or, whoever as that medical agent or financial agent. So that's one of the biggest things is while you're alive, that the documents provide those instructions. And then also after you passed away, to me, the most important thing is what we call the settlement support. So that means if you passed away, your executor now takes over. They're going to need hand-holding. They're going to need guidance. How do you get a tax ID number? And so that's all free, and that's part of our ongoing support. So we kind of hold the hands of the family members and say, hey, this is how you get through it, and this is how everything is organized, and just trying to take all emotion and thought out of it, make it as automated as possible to help resolve that estate.
My brother and I have been living this because our mom passed away right before Christmas, but she came from the legal world, so she had a very tight, beautifully done living trust with the binder. And Joe's already a guy who has a company called Blue Chip Planning, so he was already conversant in it. But her plan and how that was laid out in the living trust did make our lives amazingly easy. So I'm living proof.
Yeah.
It was probably the thing that gave me my final kick in the ass to say, "Hey, Steven, I need a trust."
Yeah, you don't want to do like a legal Zoom, or you don't just want some attorney to draft some paperwork and say, okay, you're good, you're on your own, here you go, figure it out. You want a company that's going to say, hey, we're going to be there from start to finish and make it as organized as possible. That way, the family they get the binder, they call us. Everything is, from burial instructions to gift instructions to power of attorneys it's all just right there in front of them, just neatly bound, and here's a support number to call to handhold during the process on top of that. So,
all right,
so yeah, it's a cool company.
520-386-5959. Call by May 16th and get your 65% discount off RJP Estate Planning's Living Trust Package. All right, my friend, I'm going to personally see you. This is so much seeing of Steven. I'm seeing you via video now, but I'm going to personally see you, I think, in the next 10 days. So can't wait to meet you and see you.
You too. You're going to walk in, you're going to be like 4'9", or this is my first time to ever see you.
6'2.5".
And a half, yeah.
Yes.
I've been on your show before for the last over a year. This is my first time seeing you face to face.
Well,
I've heard your voice forever.
I'm even more fun in person, as they say. So
we'll have to go. We'll go get a beer after work.
I would love to do that. So, my friend, have a great day. And that's, again, Stephen Levine from RJP Estate Planning. One more time, 520-386-5959. Have a good day, my friend.
You too, Chris. Talk to you soon. Bye.